Hey guys, so we finally got the Ravek turn signal kit, and we went with the steering column turn lever as well. So this makes a nice accessory. Get these boxes out of the way, and the full kit assembly to put the lights in the front bumper. So what comes with the kit is a lot of stuff. So we'll start with the little box, get this one out of the way. So we got the lever itself and some wiring with the two plugs for the horn and for the signals. And then got a couple extra wires and some Phillips screws, some instructions, and a nice sticker. So, and then we got the bracket that mounts right underneath the steering, so that's going to be nice. And then I have these Torx here, they just bolt on to this thing here, and we'll hold this in place and mount it. So we got that. So that'll be one step. And then we got, I like their packaging, you know. You got the lights. These are the Ravek lights that are going to go right in the front. They're really nice. They light up. They're going to give us an extra accent light, and then they're going to give us the flasher that's in there as well. So that's really nice. And I see they upgraded their horn compared to their video. And yeah, it's 105 dBs, this one. And yeah, so it's a nice horn. And they got some screws, I guess, for the horn, and then another Ravek sticker, and then this is little nuts, some primer for to stick them on, because there's two-way tape, 3M two-way tape in the back. So that's for that. And then more instructions, I guess. So we got a whole book. Oh, it's nice. They show you wiring diagram overall, the whole 9 yards. So we're going to be doing the license plate as well, and they show you step by step. We're not going to be popping out the caps us for the switches, but there is switches in there that come with it. They show you how to remove the sides, remove everything. So pretty detailed. They show you all what you need: T30, T20, even a T40. Don't know why, but we'll figure that one out. And drill bits and everything, and what to take out. So they really got a nice detail. If you get this kit, they got it detailed in. So let's put this aside for now and go through what we got with the box, and then we're going to start stripping this thing down. It looks like this is different than what they had shown in their install video, because the guy had it. There was no these are like permanently stuck in there. They're not like before, so that's a little different. And they seem to have wired most of it already together. Turn switches, turn hazard switch. So this is going to be a little different. Then they got some more wiring. Oh, this is for the flashers in the back. That I like, because the flasher, they integrate the flashers. And then there's the turn signal switches, which we won't be using. So there's the horn and the turn signal, which is simple. Like, I can show you guys real quick here. I'll put some light on, and basically you just pop these two covers off here if you're not going with the turn signal thingy, and then you put them where you can read Ravek downwards and Ravek this way too. So you put the horn, you pop these two from behind, which is easy to do once you pop the cover off. Then you stick these two wires in, you plug in these two, which are marked. They tell you right on them which ones does what. Like, see hazard switch on the one, and then the other one tells you that it's the turn switches right there. So that's simple. We'll the only difference that we're going to do is, instead of plugging this, we're going to be plugging this thing in via these wires onto this system right here. And they give you a whole whack of tie wraps and two-way tape. Two-way tape probably to stick this thing right here. There's 2 places for two-way tape. I imagine that's what it's for. And then there's an extra wire, rear main. This is to extend the rear main. So this is to get the wire longer if you need longer. And then here's the wire for the horn. So we got that going for us with just 2 little connectors. And that doesn't say which one is right, which one is left, because it doesn't matter on a horn. So we'll put that there. And then this is the wiring for the back. And this is a lot of wiring for the front. So we're gonna actually cut the tie wrap and spread this out. But before we get to that, and then here's the license plate, yeah. So this is the license plate bracket. So this is gonna be a simple install, just routing. There'll be a lot of tie wrapping and a lot of routing. That's about it. So this gives you a nice mount if you didn't have with bolts and nuts. Missing a nut. Yeah, missing a nut. Oh, not missing a nut. It's a nut right here. So let's get some tie wraps cut. And but before we do this, let's start stripping down what we need to strip down. So I just wanted to guys show you what was in the kit. It looks like a nice kit. So start off by popping the hood off. Us, we got the light for the hood light, which is nice because it's, if you think like, oh, it's complicated because it's got a hood light to take off, I just untuck it, stick the wire behind here, and pull it out of the way. That's it. All in one piece. So put this on the X3. We don't want it falling on the ground. Now we got to remove the dash. All right, so remove the dash. Well, you got to open up the window. So open up the window, push the window open, and then we got to take off the 6 screws. So there's 2 T30s hiding right here, one on each side. You got to pop these clips here, push pins. There's 3 push pins and then 1 T30 at the top. So we'll remove those and remove these arms here, and then remove these shocks here as well. So when we time to get this out of the way. So we'll start with that. You got 1 clip here. There we go. And that's the T30 at the top, and the other 2 you grab them from the other side. So there's another one. And here's the last one. And now the T30. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to throw this down here because that's the right hand side. Just in the lower dash part. And I guess loosen the clips. So now we can remove the shock. But you gotta hold the window up a little bit, or one side's not. Oh, and it just popped back. Didn't want that happening, but. All right, so pull the top off first. Pull it all out, and then pull your back piece out. And remember, here you got the rubber that lines up the. Come on. Yeah. You got the little rubber here that lines up for the vent for the side windows. Get this out of the way. And then you lift this up. You got to pop this cover off here on the side to access the two, and then you push forward a little bit. Come on. Guess it goes easy on you. There you go. Yeah, because you got to push forward because of this clip here. Actually, you got to pull it back. Sorry, push forward when you put it back in. Now we're gonna lock back this cylinder into place, so we don't have to hold the windshield no more. So take this out of place, and now we'll just repeat the same thing. We'll be right back for the driver's side to access the two T30s, because what we're trying to get is to the two T30s that are hiding right underneath here of the dash. So that's the there's 6 of these, because the 2 in the middle, and then the 2 hidden on each side like this here, and then there's another one right here. There we go. So, and we're just going to repeat for the other side, and then we'll get to the dash. So we'll be right back once the other side's done. All right, so now that we got all 2 hidden on the back and the 2 in the center, now we pop. The best way to pop the hood is from the inside, or the dash I should say, because in the front there's nothing holding it in place. It's just sitting there snug. But in the back here there's clips, so you just pop the clips up, and then you can access from the other side after. Make sure that everything, there we go. It's a snug fit in there. Oh yeah, and don't forget, inside here, there's the plug, and you gotta push downwards. Don't try to pull it out. You're gonna twist it and pry it downwards. There we go. And then just push the wire through. And don't forget to pull it back up in there once you're done. So okay, so now, and let's see if we can get a little bit of leeway. And that's it. Yeah, so just move it forward on one side, and then the curvature right here that you see is gonna, let's sit this right here. Close this before we break something. Yeah, so you push the one side forward, and make sure that you're in the curve here area, then you'll be able to pull it up. And it's just gonna be hard to feel for nothing. So we're just gonna remove the 3 T30s. There we go, and there's one back here. All right, so now we got full access to run. Or then we got this little thing here that sits on top, which we're just gonna tuck back into its spot right here and put that aside. And we're gonna need to pull out the battery cover and everything, just like you'd access to the, so basically we got to pull all these out. So this is simple. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here on this side, 4 in the middle, and on the other side I believe it's the T15s or T20s because the side that's screwed. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 1 behind the pedals, and there's 1 right at the top right here, and 1 right behind there up to the pedal. So we'll remove all these, and then we'll remove the battery cover. That'll give us access to here. We're gonna run the wires down, goes towards the back, and then we'll show you the next step once we get all these done. So I don't think you guys want to watch me pull push pins and unscrew a couple screws, but we'll show you guys what we're doing. So once you remove the floor mats on the driver and passenger side and the center one, it's gonna reveal 8 of these little thingies, the push pins as well. And you're gonna need to remove those to remove the center piece. That's where we're gonna route our wire underneath. And yeah, so you gotta remove 8 of these, 4 on each side. Actually, this side's only got 3, so I don't know. Add 4 on the other side, I believe. There we go. I believe so. So we're gonna yank it from the passenger side. And be careful not to scratch all over the place. And that's underneath here is where we're gonna, I guess they left some paper. This is where we're gonna route it along these wires in the back of the battery, and then we're gonna access to the back through the bottom here. So we're gonna pop open this here. Here we go. So T30 underneath, there's 2 right here, 1 here. All right, so another T30 in the back here, in the bottom. All right, so that's 2 there underneath, and then there's 2 in the front. There's gonna be 1 right here underneath, hiding away right there. And then there's 1 hiding away right at the top, right here. And then there's gonna be 1 last one to take off right here in the behind the tailgate, right underneath the tailgate hook. So you remove all those, so you're gonna have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then these 2 outside here. 7 of them total. So you got 2 here. Take those off the last ones. Right, so taking off these 2 last screws here, and this is where the panel gets loose, so you watch it. All right, but before you take your panel off, you're gonna have your light in the back to disconnect right here inside. So pull on the lever and just wiggle backwards there, like lift it up and then push towards the front of the machine. And then in the front here, you're wedged right here. So pull this away from the machine and then just pull downwards. The back wiring harness, this is it. So this plugs into this here at the far back. All right, and yeah, this plugs into far back, and then this is going to plug into your tailgate, in your tail light afterwards. So basically, don't plug it in like I just did right away. Pull it back out. All right, you're going to run it through the hole here, obviously, because we're following the wiring route. So here it is. So basically, we're going to run this all the way through with this wire here, and now we're going to plug it in just like so, and we're going to tie wrap, follow this around. Look underneath here, see all the tie wraps there underneath. We're going to follow the frame. Oops, get this out of the way. You're going to follow this here. You're going to pop this cap off to get underneath here, just to pass underneath. And then this here, this one, we're going to disconnect that one, pop into here, and then pop the other one in, the original back in, to follow to the back. And then in here they gave us the right apex, because if you want to put lights on top or in the bottom or whatever. And then you got the license plate light, so that's going to use the license plate harness. So that's just the wiring for the back. It's got the license plate kit, so we're going to do that. And then there's the Defender HD11 Ravek. This goes into the main harness. This is going to go towards the front and the back. That's going to come out of the module. And then this one here is the right one. So you got the left and the right to plug in, and you got a tailgate. If you want the tailgate light in the bottom, they're already all there. So I'm just going to tape these all up, make sure they don't get dirty if I want to add these accessories. And this is coming out of here, so we'll pop that back in, and we're probably going to add a little tape around here. So then we run to here, and then we're at the back. So now we're gonna grab the front, but we gotta figure out the front, so let me show you the front. So I spread the wiring, it's pretty easy. It comes all together like this, so go to the front here. So basically, you got this box right here, and right here to the right comes the turn signal and the hazards and all that. So you're gonna want that routing this way. They want you to put it back here. If you look right here in the bottom, in the back, right here is where I'm going, because I'm gonna run these wires to the hazards to the other side underneath. So now you got these two wires right here that you're gonna want to run towards the dash, not the dash, but behind the steering column. These are your hazard and whatever I was telling you. So you're just gonna run it below the AC or the whatever, the blend, the venting system. And you're gonna come out on this side with the, so we're not gonna do that right now, but we're gonna do that after. Now I'm just going to show you the rest of it. So now you got the horn, which is coming out of this thing here, and this is the horn. And I see that there's a little screw here, like an 8mm, and there's this relay. So I'm gonna take that off and screw that right here. And then the horn itself, I'm gonna route the wire like so, that the wire is gonna go this way after, and it's gonna come this way out through here. And then the horn wire, I'm not gonna put the horn where they were showing in the video, like they have their own video. They put the horn right here. And if you have the smart module and you're putting some stuff here and all that and running lights, forget about it. So I'm gonna jump out, and then you got the flasher in the front wire, and you got the passenger side, which is the right side, and you got the left side. So let me step out. So I'm not running through the front here and having a bunch of wires all over the place. I'm running it that, as you can see right here, oops, I put the right front. So I screwed up, that's passenger side. So what I'm happy to show you guys, because I'm removing it anyways, because I have to show you guys where I'm running these wires. So basically took the cover, this cover right here, off, because I was checking for a place to put the horn. And these are the two push pins here and the one push pin underneath here in the front. And you just pull forward and this comes off. All right, so we'll be taking that off after. So this one's already taken off. And as you can see where the wire is running back here, I'll take this one out because I put the wrong one in. So basically hitting underneath here, and I'm gonna tie wrap it to the line for the, whatchamacallit there, windshield washer. So that's there, but also the horn right here, the horn wire runs the same place, and then it's gonna connect into the little horn, like where I told you I was gonna plug it in, right here. It's gonna plug right into here, but I'll plug that after. And I'm gonna run it, that it runs underneath this, underneath the filter, comes through here, and then comes out here. And what I did was, you see right here is a 10mm for holding the windshield washer tank. 10mm right there. There's another one right here, same thing. I removed that one. But what I did was, I grabbed two little 10mm bolts and a T30 and a washer. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this in here and screw the horn right here. And this metal here, you can bend it forward if it's too tucked in too much. So the horn's gonna sit right underneath the fender right here. That's where the horn's gonna sit. And it's gonna be out of the way, and it's gonna be exterior, so the noise is gonna be outside, not inside or whatever. And it's gonna be, so that screws right there. So if you have a T30 that you got in one of your kits that's extra or whatever, it's one of the short ones, you don't need the long one. And then add the washer to tighten to hold the plastic into place so it's not breaking your plastic. And I put two in because I was gonna adjust the distance. You can remove one and put it further away and put another one on the inside to do whatever to distance it furthest away to the whatever, to easy access. And then this as well, you can tilt it and play with it to put your wires in, so that are gonna, these two wires. But I suggest you just plug it in first. All right, so what I decided to do is, like what I was just showing you guys, I took the AC filter out and I ran the wiring underneath it. So basically just wedge it in here and then you can run it underneath, and then you can run it underneath here. Here, as you can see, the 2 wires are there, one for the horn, one for the light, and there's the horn. So the horn is installed in the fender where it's going to go over, and I did what I said I was going to do. I put 2, I don't know if you can see that in the bottom, I put 2 nuts in the bottom here to lock it into place, to put it away from the hose so it wouldn't touch, and also bent it forward a little bit pulling on it, and I put a washer back there. So with a T30, I custom this. You guys can put it wherever you want. Also, the light, if you can see right here, I literally, in the plastics behind, I drilled a hole straight through right there. It's hidden with the bumper, so you can't see it, and basically if you look back there, I just drilled straight through, so the wire goes right through. And then I followed up with the wiring that's already there, like you can see right here where it went right through the plastics, and then straight up, not touching anything, tie wrap, come up to the top. I passed the tie wrap and then hooked them up, and then it's right here, tie wrapped underneath the and I taped it up like the connections. I grabbed electric tape and I taped the whole thing right over everything that's wiring or whatever, just to give it a better chance if it does rub against something or whatever, that the wire's not going to wire through, to give it a best life that it's possible. So now I'm going to show you guys how to put this on, doing the other side, which is basically easy. They clean this off with alcohol, both top and bottom. Stick the wire in there, just pop it in the hole. And then you got this lever here, but make sure this lever is sideways when it goes in. And then there's like a catch there, you can see. And then there's a catch here that you can see as well. So this has to be on top. It can't go in the bottom. That's where that catch goes. So when you turn it, you know, you got to go back up. Also, here it gets wider, and you want to get it to the wider spot because it won't, it's going to latch onto the edge here, and it won't slide in and lock into place flat. So just remember that, and then take the 2-way tape off, and then with 2 fingers you go in the back and you swivel it. Remember, this has to go in the bottom on this one, and then this has to go on top on this one, and it's got a little bit in the front, or it's not going to want to lock, because here it's too thin. So that's going to show you where you're sitting this down. So that's it for that. So I'm going to do that right now. Step 1, alcohol wipes, the little orange packs. So just basically clean the alcohol, clean any debris that's on there. There it doesn't. And get the, and then you got the primer, which has a spot that you can rip it right here. There we go. And one thing, make sure when you're putting the 2-way tape and you're lining it up for this to be wide enough that you get it at the right spot, because this primer here, it activates that stick, that 3M 2-way tape, like you wouldn't believe. Like literally, if you misplace it, you're gonna have to have a sharp knife, cut that off, roll it off, clean it, and get some more 2-way tape and redo it, because it smells like that glue that we used to have to make models as a kid there, built little model cars and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't need to take that off for now. But like I was telling you, this has to lock down, and this has to lock down on the bottom here, and this has to face, and to know which side is which, there's a dimple here in the bottom, and this has to go in the corner in the bottom. That's for when you're cleaning, that if there's debris or dirt, that it runs out from here. So slap. Oh, gotta take the 2-way tape off. There we go. And this here, try to put that in the back on this side. And yeah, this got to go up. So this is going in this way. And we're trying to make sure that it does lock into place. So, because once you're going in and you're tightening, So make sure that you can turn it, okay, that it's into its spot, and then Jesus, crap. Okay, try to dead center it. Okay, so then grab your Torx, your Allen key from the bottom, and holding it with 2 fingers on top in the back, start tightening away. There we go. So there we go. So, and now we're gonna run our light like we did on the other side through. So I'm gonna remove this fender, and I'm gonna drill the hole right here as well again. So basically where you see this come out, so we're gonna drill the hole up here so it goes straight into the plastic. So we'll be right back. So we just finished drilling the hole. So the hole is, you can see the wire straight in, coming out. So now we're gonna pass this wire up. Like we see, there's already a tie wrap here. So we're gonna pass the wire up this way. I don't know if we can get through underneath. Yeah, we can. We'll add another tie wrap just to make sure it's nice and snug on the tubing. So that's gonna be for that. And then we're going upwards. You see there's other wiring here too as well. But we're gonna go straight up in front of the tank. So come and take a look up here. So we're coming out right here. And we're going through right here behind. You stick it in there. There we go. So and now we're gonna keep going. Top of, try to get to the top of this here. I wonder if I can just do this for now, pull this up, and then go this way, and then pull it downwards. Yeah, that was easier. And then we can either go this way over the flow, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to go right underneath it in the back if it fits. Is there a hole here? Any place that we can go? Yeah, right here. Yeah. So we'll give it some slack. There we go. Why won't you go in? Okay, here we go. Okay, now we're gonna grab this one and come underneath. Hook this in, snap it into place, grab some electrical tape, tape the hell out of it, tie wrap it, pull the snug. I'm just doing this because I don't like seeing little fragile wires just hanging around. So I go double it. I don't know. I just like it better when it's not a bunch of little colored little tiny wires. I don't know why. But should have got some. I got some big heat shrink, so I could have heat shrunk the hell out of it right over it, but I didn't think about it. But there we go. So now I gotta run tie wraps all the way up. All right, so what I did was, like I said, I drilled a hole straight across. So as you can see, I left all the tie wraps not cut. So I put it here, ran it underneath here, ran it to the top here, ran behind the lights, came up here, ran here, came up in the back of the overflow for the antifreeze, hooked up here on the back, ran into behind the frame here, well, not the frame, but behind the plastic cover, came up, ran below this line, left the tie wrap there, and here I am going to the module. All right, so we're good for that. The other side came out for the horn, and the horn is right here, and the other one's right here. We ran underneath the intake for the ace, for the air inside the cab, and ran everything behind here as well. And put the horn here, like I said, hooked up to the windshield washer on top, and ran the same thing with the lights in the back, and ran tie wraps along the wiring that goes up here, tie wrap here, and then straight through, drill the hole right through the frame, right through the bumper, and then it hooks up, see right there in between, goes nice and straight, and that's it. So, and then the lights, like I showed you on one side, just repeat both sides with the alcohol and the primer, and then stick them in there. Make sure you got the groove with the hole in the front, so when you rinse, stuff comes out. And that's it for the front. And then now I'm going to cut all the tie wraps, sit my piece back here on top, lock her down. We're done with the front. All right, so now we're doing the back. So you just plug in. I put a tie wrap to hold it right here, so this extra plug-in doesn't rattle around, and then this one's going to go behind the light. So I'm just routing it with the other one. So that's what we're doing. So everywhere there's a tie wrap, I'm throwing a tie wrap. So I'm going to hold it the same way that Can-Am. Geez. Here it bends, so do the same thing, give it some slack so it can bend in the corner. Don't put it tight. So the back's not too complicated. It's basically just a lot of tie wraps. And then here you got to remove this push pin. So pull it out, and then you can access behind here. And it looks like there's a tie wrap underneath there as well. So I'm going to put another tie wrap underneath right here. There we go. And now this is the plug and play. So you gotta pull this little clip here. There we go. Now we can push on this down. There we go. So now we're in here, and there's only one way it goes, right? So male to female, female to male. All right, now put the little white clip back in, or gray clip. There we go. Lock back into place. And now the OEM. There we go. That one had a nice clip to it. So we're going to tape all these up so they don't get damaged if we do end up. So now we're going to run the wire from the front all the way to the back, run it behind the battery, and come out right down there, and then pull the wire up right behind the battery. It's going to come out down there. It's not complicated at all. If you look right here already, you can see, like if you look right beside the battery, I'll show, like right there, you can see the hole out in the back there. You can probably see my hand if I put my hand down here. I don't know if you can see it or whatever. I don't know if you saw my hand or not. Anyways, be right back. That's where we're running the wire right beside the battery. Right here for the horn relay, I took out this little screw here, right from here. But this relay won't sit in the middle because it's got two little tabs on each side. So what I'm going to do is simply grab a pair of cutters and chop the corners off a little bit. There we go. Try to do it and catch your corners so they don't fall. I don't know where that one went. But anyways, just to trim off the corners. And then, yeah, right there, it should. And then screw it right in without losing the screw because it's the only one we got. There we go. So this will be a good spot to put this relay right beside the accessories. And there we go. So now we got the horn connection right at the end. And now that the horn went through, it says horn right on it. So horn. So now, okay, there we go. So now that that's connected, now we got a bunch of excess wires. So that's what I'm trying to do here is trim everything before we run the wire to the back. So just making a cleanup of everything. So there goes the horn, all tucked in. And there we go. Cut that. So now horn is here. So now we got to run so the wire to go to the back. So this is the one, the long one that's written right on it. It's written to rear main. All right, so I ran the wire down the back here and then tucked it in underneath here and brought it through here. It was easier to pass it through the driver's side. Then I ran it through here, put a tie wrap here, put a tie wrap there, ran a tie wrap with the rest of the wiring, ran it behind the battery, came out here at the top here on top behind the battery, put it right here, ran it to the back with a tie wrap. In the back here, as you can see, the two tie wraps on the frame, and then came up and then disconnected everything here at the top off the side. I gotta pull this clip off plastic. Anyways, I tie wrapped everything onto here, connected everything. These are the two, the left and right apex lighting. This is for the rear license plate. It's gonna be the next one. So I'm gonna, I put the clip in pin already, but I'm gonna run that wire along here. All right, so now we're doing the license plate bracket. So basically, I tucked everything. I put the flashers here on the sides. So the flashers are just going to be here and here. And you're going to see them through the steering column or whatever. Then I put the access here and I put the access here. I put the two wires for the hazard and the horn through here. I decided to Velcro onto the air system. The vent right here was the best place to Velcro. Now all I got left to do is put the positive and negative. I tie wrapped everything, all the loose wires, onto the main harness, as you can see here, so you guys can tuck away the way you want. So I'm gonna just add these to here. So they give you two nuts in the kit for the positive and negative. So should have used an impact, but Don't want to over tighten on this stuff here. Come on, are you done? All right. Okay. So the red is obviously the red. So it's going to be this one with the fuse. So we're going to add this to that. And then take a nut that they gave us with it. You can put a lot of stuff on these bars, anyways. This is all accessory for with the switch underneath the dash. If you're looking for where you're going to hook up some accessories, you can basically, this is your bus bar, you can put enough stuff here. Okay, so now the black wire, so this one here onto that one. Okay. Then after this, all that's left to do is tie wrap this leftover, all these wires here. We're gonna find a home for them. All right, so now let's find a home for all of these. So now we can put the rubber back over this, like so. There we go. So that covers that. And then these wires here, also this one here, I got a tie wrap. So you got the one red wire coming out of the horn. So I guess this is going to be its new home. I ran out of the tie wraps they had in the kit. Now I'm using my tie wraps. There we go. For the switches, so if we're doing the switches, basically you just plug these two in, then you'll run in the back here, and you'll get to down here, and you'll pop these two covers right here to put your switches in, right here. So you're gonna pop these two out, and then as you can see, the wire's just right there, so then you just push them both in. And these are the two switches they give you. You got plenty of wires, so. But I'm not going that route, I'm going this route with this. So that's what I'm doing. So now I gotta grab a T20 and unscrew 3 screws. There we go. There. So those 3 are out. Alright. I don't know if I should have put blue Loctite on these things or. I'm going to find out what size these are, because these are Allen keys, not Torx. Number 5. And we need there we go. That's solid there. I forgot to grab the first. All right, so let's see if we can start them off by hand. Too tight. I want to line up the other ones first. There we go. And the last one. Right here. All right. Okay, so it doesn't affect. Okay, so this locks back into place. And now we're running this wire, and I guess we'll just run it by the column, I guess, or straight underneath it. So we can run this way, put our arm on the other side and grab. So I guess I'll leave it some, no, that's the furthest place that it can go down. So I want to make sure that it doesn't, well, I can't affect it, the bottom there. And then we're going to plug in. Does it tell you which side? Okay, so turn and horn. So this one here says hazard switch and turn switch. So hazard goes with turn switch, turn. So oops, so let's go turn, and then that's a click. This one here says hazard switch. So horn is hazard and horn, I guess. We'll find out in a second. There we go. So now all I have to do is tie wrap this thing as well, get it out of the way. What I'll do is I'll tie wrap it right to this thing and be done. But we're all anxious to see if it works, so let's turn this thing on. Let's see in the front what it's gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna close it up for you guys, put a tie wrap on there like I said, and then we'll jump to the license plate and we'll be right back. For you guys, it'll be a couple seconds. It's all right, so we finished installing the license plate. So we used our hardware that they give, and I added a couple washers to hold the plate in there and a couple washers in the back just to make sure it wouldn't fall through the plastic holes. It's a nice light. So then we ran the wire, and there's a hole here, and you can put a tie wrap here. So we ran it underneath the exhaust, completely underneath the shield and everything, so the heat goes up. So that's how we got it back there. And then added another tie wrap to this hole here to lock it in the back, and then ran it away from the pipe down below the member or whatever, the cross member, up to here. Ran it behind the tie wrap and then sat it here, and then put the access, connected it to it, and then put the access here, and then just put another tie wrap to hold everything in here. So now we got the left and right apex lights that we can add. The plugins are here with a cap on top. So everything's tucked away in here, just in this pocket. Put a couple tie wraps there. Tailgate light is hidden right underneath here. So it's just jammed in there. So if you want to put a tailgate light, you can. So that's it. And the front, these lights look really nice in here, tucked away. And it makes an accent to the OEM style. Also the arm. So we ran this way. We put the wire, we put tie wraps inside in the bottom here. Nothing touches it, just the wire's loose there, so it plays nicely. And then we'll throw on some power and show you guys. And all of the flashers, I didn't drill the holes in these two things. I put the flashers underneath here so I could see the lights flash green when they're flashing, because I'm hoping to get the connection for have the OEM flashers in here. I don't want to drill any holes. So that's that. So take a look in the front. Okay, so they light up like accent lights. Let me turn off the lights in the garage. So that's what they look like. They're nice and bright. Back away as much as possible for it to get a good look at it. Yeah, they're nice. So that's that. And then if we got good light, flasher, simple, hold it down, then you got the flasher in the front, the same accent light becomes amber, and then this way here, and then the back light flashes on the OEM, and that's the look you get. I'll put the 4-ways on. Simple. Just press this button in the bottom here. Now we got the 4-ways. So there we go. So it looks good. And then come around this way, and in the back both lights flash. So it looks pretty good. Should close my dome light at the top here. Not my dome light, but my backup light off. All right, and then let's put the lights back on in here and explain to you guys. So that's that. So basically, and then the horn, obviously, you either pull up towards you, push forward, then the flasher to flash to one side. See, I can barely see, but I can see the lights flashing in there like a little bit there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I made it that you got the accent. Can't see it because I'm lighting up with the light, but anyways, I can see them. They're glowing in the bottom there underneath, hidden away. So you got the one flasher on the one side. You just hold it. If you hold it again, it makes it longer. If you hold it again, I think it's like 90 seconds it's gonna flash, but you gotta take the 4-ways off. And then the same thing on the other side, and to cancel, you just pull to the other side to cancel. And this is all aluminum, so it's nice, and the rubber boot is nice too. And they got their name right there on the top, Ravek, with their symbol. So it's a nice unit, and it was easy to mount underneath like you guys have seen. But anyways, that's it. It goes good, and I don't, yeah. Horn is loud, especially outside. I'm glad I put it underneath here, tucked away. And yeah, like these accent lights are really nice too. So, and then the license plate light is bright as well. Let me go turn off the lights and show you guys. So let me turn off the light off the camera to help it make it look, there we go. So that's what your license plate light looks like. It's got 3 little LEDs in there. So that's that. So I'm happy. It's a nice kit. So we'll catch you on the next one. Hope this, I don't make this video too long for you guys, but I like the finishing, everything with the little like vents or whatever underneath and on top, and then they got the drain holes in the corners. I think it adds to the bumper because they're just plain old holes and cavities on both sides, kind of look like whatever. So I think it outdoes the bumper. So you guys let me know what you think. Leave the comments, leave a thumbs up if you like it. Please subscribe, because it's fun when you do. So we'll catch you on the next one. You guys be out safe riding, and if you got any questions, like I said, I answer them all. So please don't be afraid to ask. We'll catch you on the next one.